I now have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Oscar Fernandez-Taranco, Assistant Secretary General for Political Affairs, to deliver a message addressed to this meeting by His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations. So you have the floor.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much, sir. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring greetings to all the participants of the United Nations International Meeting on the Question of Palestine. I'd like to express our gratitude to the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People for organizing this meeting, and to the Government of Ecuador for hosting this meeting. The General Assembly of the United Nations declared 2014 as the International Year of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. As the conflict in Syria continues and new and peace securities emergencies are arising around the globe, we must not be diverted from the urgent need to find a lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I am hopeful for the success of diplomatic efforts being spearheaded by the United States of America, and that it will yield the hoped-for fruit. The United Nations remains committed to a peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine that would result in a two-state solution, with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and security within the recognized pre-1967 borders. The current renewed round of peace negotiations has presented a rare and important opening to advance the two-state solution. I call on both parties to act to reach an agreement, even if it requires painful concessions. To achieve peace, we must also focus on the important efforts towards Palestinian economic revival. I am encouraged by the commitment of Arab leaders to uphold the 2002 Arab Peace Initiative, which holds the promise of normalizing relations between the entire Arab region and Israel in return for a comprehensive and just solution of the Arab-Israeli conflict. At the same time, I remain deeply troubled by Israel's rapidly expanding settlement activity in the West Bank, including in East Jerusalem. International law is clear. Settlements are illegal, and they also risk rendering a two-state solution impossible. The situation in East Jerusalem is of particular concern. Increasing incidents at the Haram al-Sharif temple, as well as the recent Israeli Knesset debate on the bill to impose Israeli sovereignty, quote-unquote, over Haram al-Sharif are deeply troubling. Such actions with regard to this highly sensitive issue may be perceived as serious acts of incitement in the wider region. Moreover, these actions undermine the current negotiating process, thereby threatening the prospects for peace. I am also deeply concerned by the recent escalation of violence between Gaza and Israel and the unacceptable rocket firing into civilian areas, which seriously risks undermining the fragile ceasefire with Israel. I call for all parties to act with maximum restraint in order to allow for the implementation of the Agreement on Movement and Access and implementation of Security Council Resolution 1860 of the year 2009. I am hopeful that the International Year of Solidarity with the Palestinian people will help create an environment which is favorable for fulfilling the collective international responsibility towards the Palestinian people and their free and prosperous future. Please accept my best wishes for a successful meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
I thank Mr. Oscar Fernandez-Taranco for having agreed to represent the Secretary General at this meeting. I would like to ask him to convey to the Secretary General our committee's sincere gratitude for this message. We also look forward to your keynote presentation in the second half of this opening session.